How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Daddy Dave, and this is a map tour for a new mod map to Farming Simulator 22 called AGROLAND. And we're going to start with the description from the mod hub, and it reads: AGROLAND is a map with soft relief, small properties, and preserved vegetation typical of the Brazilian countryside. This map is based on the region of Mato Grosso do Sul, Brazil, containing 60 purchasable fields, 38 of which with missions. Starting as a new farmer, you will have a small part of the farm with medium-sized machinery and implements. It also has a pasture of cows and free-range chickens. On the map, there is a quarry where you can buy the land and transform stones into limestone. Forest area with reduced price for working with wood. If you need water, you can withdraw it from the river or lake. In the city, there is a gas station, shop, workshop, and market. Sale of grains in the warehouse and cooperative. Sale of bales, straw, hay, and grass at Mr. Bales. Sale of wool and cotton at Mr. Cotton. Mr. Wood's Timber Company for the sale of logs and wood chips. Sale of milk and derivatives in the dairy. Standard sale points for factories are scattered across the map. Culture added pinto beans. The seasonal growth plan is customized and has a second season for corn and pinto beans. This map was created by AGROCAIPIRA and is 234.65 megabytes to download. There are no mods required for this map, and if we take a look, this is what it looks like. You can see that we start out here in kind of the southern half of the map here. We start out by owning farmlands number 1 and 2. Number 1 has a cornfield on it and part of our farm, and is in the growth stage, is in a growing state. Farmland number 2 has a wheat field and the rest of our farm, and the wheat field is ready to harvest. You cannot purchase all areas of the map, and if we take a look at the prices, you can see it's expensive, but how do I want to put this? You get more than what you would think. So starting with one of the kind of smaller plots here, number 36 here, it's a small field, yes, but you get all this surrounding area around the field, so it gives you the opportunity to kind of expand it out. And you can see 99,000. Down here you got one that's just an open plot, 252,912. Got this one here. This is 37. Nope, Farmland 37 for 147,856. You can see it doesn't ramp up considerably high. It's pretty much a standard of 100,000 to roughly 300,000 to 500,000, somewhere around that ballpark there. 287. We got 135. 200,000. We got here 125. This corner lot, you see this is 86,000. There's something there that's actually kind of special, so I'll point that out when we get there. If we go all the way up to some of the bigger fields, we got 398,000, 380,000, 200. Like it doesn't really get all that expensive for the plots of land, so that's really nice. Let's see. Whoops. We do have animals to start out with. Contracts are available, production chains are not available at the beginning, and there are no collectibles to start for this map. If we take a look at mods specific to this map, there is nothing under the the buy menu, but if we look under the build menu, we start out under the buildings tab and we make our way all the way down to farmhouses. We do have a couple of the AGROLAND here. Under productions and then factories, we scroll to the right, you'll see this lime production is there, and nothing else under selling points, greenhouses, orchards, or generators. Under animals, there's nothing under this whole tab here, nothing under decorations as well. And then under landscaping, if we look under painting, you can see we do have additional swatches here. And then under plants, we have a couple, well, this one right here. Oh, and there's one of our chickens just running away from us. Let's see. No, because we do start at the starting farm, let's take a look at the starting equipment. If we go under the build... yes, words. Under the buy menu, under owned items, we have under small tractors a New Holland T6 175, medium tractors a New Holland T7 315 HD, trucks a Mack Superliner 6x4, harvesters a New Holland CH7 70, cars the Lizard Pickup 1986, trailers we have a Load King Distinction Super B pull trailer Distinction Super B lead trailer, a Brantner TA23065 2 Power Tube Plus, and a Welger DK115. Under the headers, we have the header for the New Holland. Forage harvesters, we have the Lakotech LH2 and the Kemper 345 Plus. So these two actually you can use for your chaff harvesting, and you'll see those here in a second. Seeders, you have a K-brand S-Pro 6000 RC. Sprayers, the Berthound Vantage 4300. Mowers, a K-brand GMD 4411. Tedders, K-brand GF 8712. Windrowers, the K-brand Merge Max 950. Balers, a K-brand VB 3190. Front loaders, the Quickie Q4M. Front loader tools, the Albert pallet forks. Header trailer, the Nardi N40BX. And weights, we have a 10 Winkle Pack 1500 and 1000. There we go. So we do start here at the starting farm, like I mentioned. So let's come around the side here. We are immediately greeted with the chicken coop right here for room for 120 chickens, but you have it completely maxed out right from the beginning, which is nice. Right here you have a wardrobe trigger and a sleep trigger right there. Let's turn back around. Silo is right here. And you can see we're already set up for our corn silage harvest right here. So that's kind of a cool thing. We're going to hop in the tractor here and start making our way around the map. Just down the driveway here, we do have a cow barn with room for 250 cows. You have your, oh, you know what, that just dawned on me. Water point, feed point, what is, wait a minute. There's an extra dump point, and I don't know what that would be for. Oh, that has to be for your straw. Slurry point right there, and milk point right there. And here, while I'm thinking of it, let's go back here because I didn't show the ins and outs of the chickens. So right over here, you have your feed point there, and your eggs will spawn right there. So now we'll hop back in the tractor and continue to make our way around. There we go. Now the real cool thing about this map, at least I think it's cool. Ooh. And I did this last time too, almost ran right into the gate not realizing it was there. All the farms that are kind of scattered across the area here have these really nicely made signs here. And I really like the little wagon wheel right here as well. It's just a cool little decoration, but they do have various signage throughout the map. So it makes it easy to know where you're going from place to place. And here's, coming up is a perfect example. You can see the sign right there to the left of the driveway. And you can tell that's for sheep. We'll go back there here in a bit, but we're going to first go down to the end of this road over here. Now I'm pulling along the back side of the the farm right there. You can see we do have a bunker silo right in the back there, just behind the big storage shed. And you can see just all these trees, like the straightness would indicate that this is like a nursery of some sort, like a whole tree growing operation kind of thing. Which would also explain why you are coming up to this, the carpentry. You do have a rent train trigger right here, and the carpentry right here, you can purchase this for $60,000. Your inputs are right here with the wood cell trigger there, and your outputs are right there. You do have the train line that's running right along there. Now we're just going to backtrack just a little ways, head back to that sheep farm. And this map there's some really lovely views on this map. It's got very slight, subtle hills. I mean, nothing that's too, like, extravagant in the ways of the terrain just kind of undulating around. It is a little cartoony with all the colors and the flowers that are lining the roadways. But, I mean, that's okay. Now, if we come up here... right to this point here. So if we take a look at the map and show where we've been and what we've seen up to this point. So we started here at the farm and made our way around. We saw the cows on our way out, came out this driveway here past the gate, down over to this area here. We took in the carpentry as well as the rent train trigger, came all the way back over here, over here, down and around to this area here. And if we purchase farmland number 48 for $122,768, and that reminds me, I need to borrow some money. There we go. So farmland 48 for $122,768. Purchase that. You can see now, got triggers popping up. The sheep pasture here can hold up to 60 sheep, and you have your feed input there, water input there, and your pallets. I thought they spawned there, but now I'm not 100% sure, so I've not seen the spawn point. I'm pretty sure they spawn in here, but I just don't see the hash marks. Kind of similar to like the eggs at the farm there. They just kind of pop into that little hutch there. Little hut, not hutch, hut. And you do get a nice little buildable area right down here at the kind of, I don't know if you'd call that a little valley, but just a little flat area right in front of the farm there. So now we're going to head off in this direction. We're going to take in the next set of items to see. Yeah, well, this is what I was talking about. There has some really nice sights. That purple leafed tree right there in the background, and you'll see, various other colors. Again, it seems a little cartoony, but I think that's supposed to be like a. I think they're called like purple heart trees, which I believe are primarily down in South America. I could be wrong about that, but. I think that's what it's supposed to represent. Over here you have the quarry and the lime production. Right back here, you can buy this for $4,000, and then you can make some lime. And what's nice is this is a 1-to-1, so you put, let's say, 1,000 liters of stone in, you get 1,000 liters of lime out. Very nice. You're not losing any product. But look at this. You got all this stone right here waiting for you to pick up and do something with. You've got lime here. Well, to be able to get access to that, we have to purchase land. So farmland number 35 for $86,096 will then give you the ability to scoop up this lime, scoop up the stones, and just kind of go to town. And now, I head back out this way. To the right. To my left is a train silo, so you can put in and out for your tip back trailers there. You also have an in and out for your train right here. You have 2 rent train triggers. I'm not sure why there's 2, but they're there. Rent train, rent train. Now from here, we're going to make a right. Now there is no crossing lights there, so you're going to have to pay attention. Make sure you don't get walloped by the train. And now we're coming up on our next farm. Again, just a gentle hill, very nice kind of incline. You can see here, we got the pig farm. So we take a look at the map. We were here at the sheep farm. We came up and around down to the quarry. We then came back out and over to here. We saw the train silo and the couple of rent train triggers. Yeah. Then back up to here. If we purchase farmland number 49 for $65,439, you can now see we have triggers for our pigs. You can see here, there's room for 30 pigs. Feed here, water here, and you know what? That just occurred to me. Oh, because it's a pasture, there's no slurry. Aha! Okay, so now we're going to leave here and continue heading north. Again, I like how the landscape is very subtle. It's not a giant, elevation change, but there is enough to be, to break up sight lines, but there is also that kind of flatness to the land as well. So if you look behind me there, the map just kind of falls off kind of thing as the land goes down. So it's really nice how it just kind of is gentle in and out of certain areas. This is the warehouse sell point, and just beyond it is the lime station buy point. Here we're going to make a right. And we've got several of our production points right here. Alright, so starting here, we have our sugar mill. Oops. 80,000, purchase that. Outputs here and inputs around the backside, as we saw coming in. Next one is the cereal factory. 110,000 to buy this. You have your output and your input. Next one is the oil mill. And you have your input and output right there. And the trigger is right here. 80,000, purchase the oil mill. And then lastly, come around on this side, is the grain mill. And 96,000, purchase this. Inputs here, outputs there. And now we can head out to our next set of interests. Like I said, as you look around, I mean, there's very flat areas in the north of the map, but then the further south you go, that's when that kind of undulation and that small kind of elevation change occurs. So you do have plenty of area that you can kind of build up and make your own on this map, which is nice. but you're also not having one of those maps where everything is just super flat and kind of dull and boring. You do have your truck up here at the shop. Over here, you have the shop trigger. And over here, the repair trigger. Across the street. Back here, you have the pizzeria. And we're going to pull off this way. Gas station right here. Back here, you have your fast food restaurant sell point and your supermarket sell point. I do like how there's a football football field right there. Over here, you have your tailor shop for 100,000. You can purchase this. Inputs here, outputs around back. Wardrobe trigger right there. Here's the output right there. Across the street over here is the grape processing unit with your output right there, your trigger, and 80,000 will purchase that. Was there, and your inputs are right here. Okay. Over here, you have the spinnery. Purchase that for 60,000. Over here is the input. Now, normally the output's right here, but I don't see the little hash marks for it. But like I said, normally they're right on top of each other. You've got your inputs right here, and then your outputs right next to these bay doors right there. And now, across the street is the bakery. Stop here. 50,000 will purchase that, and your inputs and outputs are right back here. Now the sell point to the right, that is the farmer's market, and to the left is the sell point for the restaurant. Now we need to keep heading down in this direction. And we're coming up on our next points of interest. As you can see, they're all kind of clustered up together. So starting here is the animal dealer. Now you can come to this location or the pens and pastures you already have installed on the map, and you can purchase animals from these locations. If you do that though, you will incur an additional cost. That additional cost is essentially a delivery fee. It's a simulation of the animal dealer bringing the animals from this location and delivering them at whatever location you want them to be at. Now you can save the money on that transaction fee. That in order to do that, you bring an animal trailer, either leased or owned, to this location. You load into the animal trailer, or you purchase your animals, have them loaded into the trailer, and then take that trailer yourself to the location you want to drop them off at. Then you essentially picked up the delivery and you save that money. And cows can be rather expensive. To use an example, adult cows, $100 per cow. Our farm had room for 250 cows. The math, it kind of adds up. So one of those that if you want to save some money, that's a good way to do. Now here, just back here, we have the biomass heating plant right back here. And over here is the dairy. Can I hop over? Nope. I was hoping to be able to hop over. That's alright though. Got your output there, your input right here. And then the trigger. It's right here. You can purchase that for $70,000. And now heading back out. Alright, so sell point to the right, that is the the Bales Mr. Bales sell point. But over here you have the Bales Mr. Cotton production point. Essentially is another spinnery. You can purchase this for $60,000, and you have the ability to make your fabrics. Now continuing on down the line. We'll pull in here. Right here you have your sawmill. This is the Timber Mr. Woods for $100,000. You can purchase this. You have your inputs right here with your wood cell trigger right there. Your outputs, where I had it, where did it go? Oh, there it is, right in the corner. Outputs right over here, and your wood chips will spawn in there. So now we have to backtrack just a little ways. And here we want to make a right. You can again see how that landscape just kind of gently just pitches down as we continue to head south. Now you do have the last point of interest right here. If we take a look at the map. Okay, so we're here at the pig farm. Came out, up and around, over through field 25, where we saw the warehouse, the lime station. We then saw all these production points, the sugar mill, cereal factory, oil mill, and grain mill. Came over to here, we saw the vehicle shop with the shop trigger and repair trigger. We also saw the gas station, the fast food restaurant, and supermarket. We then backtracked, passed by the pizzeria, the tailor shop, the grape processing unit, over to the spinnery, the bakery, and then we saw the farmer's market as well as the restaurant. Came all the way down here to the animal dealer, the dairy. We saw the biomass heating plant. We also saw the Bales Mr. Bales as well as the Bales Mr. Cotton and the Timber Mr. Woods, the sawmill. We then backtrack down to this point here, down, and now we're here. If we purchase farmland number 50 for $47,488, you can see now we have more icons that pop up. And this is essentially farm number 2. You have a horse pasture here for room for 10 horses, and you have your water and your feed go right there, and you have another sleep trigger. And that is it. Also, this truck is yours. The truck that was up there at the shop is yours. You do have some equipment that's kind of just spread out all over the place. Now, I don't necessarily understand why your truck is here on this farm when you don't own it. That's kind of confusing, but it is what it is. But that is the tour. Now it is time for me to render my opinion and let you know what I think. 0-5 scale as always. And this one is kind of a mixed bag for me. It's got the nice undulation in the land. There's plenty of flatness to it up in the north, but it makes sense that there would be kind of this depression or this kind of low-lying area here, because you had the river that kind of runs right through the center of the map, and then it just kind of raises back up as it spreads away from the river, which is, you know, seems pretty accurate. As you have a river cut through the land, it will just create a depression. But like I said, I'm kind of a mixed bag on this. The reason that is because there's tons of color on this map, and it's really like sticks out, and it's just all over the place. You do have a little area back there that's kind of old and ran down, but besides that, the trees, especially in the areas where it's supposed to be like forestry, it just seems like they're both set up for like actual nurseries, like they were, obviously planted by humans, kind of thing, not natural. Um, so it just makes it seem like very kind of what's the best way? Maybe structured. I don't know. It just I do like the color palette. I do like the red kind of dirt in the road networks, and even on the fields. The fields even carry that red dirt as well. And I would love to be able to see, as you change the state of the land, of especially the fields, does that redness kind of transfer over? Like you can see how the dirt here on the road is red, and then you have the kind of redness that's in the fields as well. And I like that. I think that's kind of a cool feature, and it just makes it feel like you're somewhere else, in the world. And I've lived in areas where there's, pretty red dirt and clay, all over the place, and it's kind of a shock when you first see something like that. So like I said, it's just kind of a cool little feature, but again, the colors like really kind of take me out of it, because it just seems like it's too cartoony. It just feels like it's too much. Now, I would be totally fine if like the trees, like you see that bright yellow tree in the background, the purple trees kind of in the background there. Both of those, I mean, I'd be totally fine with if those were just on there without all the flowers in as well, because those like would seem kind of, a potential part of the landscape. This just seems like it was just kind of dotted in kind of thing. And I don't know, just with how much of the flowers and the color is in here, it really kind of draws my score down. So what do I think of this map? I would give this probably a 3.5, a little bit above average. The fields are really squared. They're not really, for the most part, that unworker friendly. So you should be able to kind of, for the most part, set a worker off and let them just go to town. Very squared off, but at the same time, it's just, you've got so much area where you can see just for miles, it feels like, down the road. Where there's nothing to break up the sight lines, but then you get to other parts of the map where the sight lines are broken up. So about a 3.5 is where I'd rank this. A little bit above average, but not, exceptional kind of thing. This one is kind of a weird one for me, because I normally don't like maps where there's very straight pathways and you're basically able to turn on the cruise control and just let the machine do the work kind of thing. But this one, I don't know, there's something about it where I want to give it a higher rating, and a lot of it has to do with kind of the custom trees and the foliage around. There's also the kind of you've got like the palm trees in there, and the various other foliage, as you can see, going around the map. And it isn't washboard or smooth. It's very much got little undulations here in the north, but it's still flat enough to where you can utilize the land for something, but it's not flat across the whole thing. Yeah, just I don't know. I'm having a hard time putting my finger as to why I want to give this a higher rating, but I really feel like there's something about this. There's something here that's just scratching at the surface, but at the same time, there's just something that also draws me away from wanting to give it that higher score. Like, I want to say, yeah, give it a 4, give it a 4.5. There's something there that makes me want to just pull that and just say, yes, this is what I want to give it. But then there's other areas that I look and like, no, not really, just kind of clunky, or you've got like these huge straightaways that I could just set the cruise control on and fall asleep at, kind of thing, and then wake up on the other side where I need to be. I don't know, just I guess at the end of the day, there's enough uniqueness about the map to kind of draw away from those things that I don't like, but at the same time, there's not enough to really overpower and make me forget about those negatives that I pointed out before. And I think that's what it all boils down to in the end. But I think that will do it. I hope you enjoyed this map tour. If you did, please show me by liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting, doing all the things the algorithms enjoy you doing that shows you're engaged with this channel and enjoying the content. And that being said, I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care.